Hello, I'm Mark,
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to talk a little bit about non-sale states for Tesla. But
Any
first,
place named South.
roll that title.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express!
Patrick, that was timed perfectly. I just want to say that. But thanks so much. We've got some interesting stories that came out this week concerning Tesla direct sales and the different states that have issues with Tesla selling directly. But this is the one story that we'll quote, and of course the notes, the links will be in the notes if you want to read the story at a later time. But the first one we wanted to touch upon was Western Massachusetts has finally agreed for Tesla to build a new direct sales center service as well in a Western Massachusetts county. And they are going to be building that as of now. But they've been looking for a site to build a sales center for quite some time. And that is sometimes part of the problem as well, is getting a site that's suitable, big enough, that's going to allow them to service the vehicles that they're selling and, of course, to sell them. But this is a win for Western Mass, which is very light when it comes to sales and service centers. Another story that happened this week was about the state of Louisiana, which has had a rule against Tesla setting up sales centers, and Tesla has gone to court to try to push this forward. And the U.S. Court of Appeals has sided with Tesla about the unfair practice of blocking them from selling vehicles directly in the state of Louisiana. So these, of course, are established dealer networks that have tried to put up these blocks in place to Tesla, because they can see that Tesla is obviously selling a lot of vehicles and is chewing up the marketplace of many, and continues with every new model entered into its stable of cars. That's just going to start to chew up even more. I can imagine when the Cybertruck gets up to scale and they get the rear-wheel version available, so it's down around the $62,000 mark, with a federal credit on top of that, which should be hopefully still available at that time. You've got a compelling vehicle that's selling at or under current prices of diesel pickups that are on these dealer lots. So they're trying to protect themselves from the competition that they know is coming. But Tesla, of course, has been fighting some of these things. And one of the states that still blows my mind that Tesla is blocked from selling direct in, Patrick, Casey, we've talked about this 100 times, is Texas. What on earth is Texas doing? World headquarters for Tesla has these rules still in place, and we've talked about this before. They do have they only revisit the law every 2 years. Talk about an easy street job. Yeah. They only revisit the issues every 2 years. And this is something that is just mind-blowing, that Tesla has set up their headquarters there, and still Texas continues to block them on this.
There's a little nuance there. The governor can call them back in, and the governor can make them stay longer. And he has made them stay longer for pet projects for people of his party. But not for the largest business owner they keep riding the coattails for. Every time something good happens with Tesla, there he is. Oh, look what we did. When can they sell cars in your state? When can they service them without having to do it in California? Come back. Yeah.
And
Patrick, California, but like you're literally Tesla of California is authorizing the repairs by this other company that happens to also We call Tesla and have Tesla stuff all over the building, but you can't. It's ridiculous.
And Patrick, we had talked before we started the show, and what's the worst part? It's not necessarily the sales, but what's the worst part of these states playing these games?
Right, it's service. So it's not that difficult to go and pick up a vehicle in another state if you have to do that to get it, and it's a car or a vehicle that you really want. But doing that every time you need service. So as long as as long as you can get service in your somewhat local area, or if Tesla has mobile service in your area, that could work too. But when the dealer networks want to throw up every kind of obstacle that they can, and just like the Western Mass article that you just referenced, they were allowed to have so many, and then now they finally got an allotment for a little bit more. And I'm not sure why the state would get involved in how many locations they can have anyway. Do they do that with every GM and Ford and dealership? I mean,
Absolutely not.
Right, exactly. And then
Yeah.
they had to get the county's permission, and then there was even I don't know if it was a neighborhood association where there's homes nearby. This is zoned business, but there's residential nearby. Well, a Tesla garage is not going to have be belching out smoke and exhaust and revving engines really loud and doing all these other things. Yet they still wanted noise abatement. They wanted a row of trees left as a natural abatement, and other things. So and Tesla said, sure, yeah, we'll do that, no
I
problem.
bet you they wonder. I bet you they think that Tesla will fail, and they'll put a regular car shop in because it's already a car shop, and now all that noise is back.
Oh yeah, maybe I don't. Yeah, or it's just more shenanigans.
Oh, that too, for sure. But that's got to be part of their reasoning. But one, Tesla's not going to fail like that, and two, like you said, they're already quiet, so you put out that's what you hear, and you can't hear it.
Tesla's done a lot of things to try to move this forward. Like we talked about how there's lawsuits. They're probably not going to sue Texas, but they might sue every state around Texas, and in an effort to make Texas see the light, right? So if you're a neighboring state to Texas that does not allow direct sales,
look out.
It's coming.
Look out, the news may be on the wall.
Right. And then the other thing that we saw that they did is they work with tribes. We saw this in New Mexico, and building these sales and service centers right next to a tribal casino. That's a great idea, because then it's not on state regulated land. It's on tribal regulated land. And the tribes are more than happy to have jobs and that foot traffic. And hey, you know what? It's going to take us an hour to change your filters. You can either sit in the lobby or yes, exactly. Yeah. They might even start giving out, some free casino tokens or something.
Exactly.
Go try out the buffet. Go see a show. Whatever.
Yep. Connecticut is another state that's doing that with the tribal lands. So that's a big win. Took a look at the Wikipedia page on this. Get a load of the number of states that still has regulation against direct sales. Alabama, which also bans service centers. South Carolina, which also bans service centers. New Mexico, also banning service centers. West Virginia, it also bans galleries. Kansas also bans galleries.
So the
Kentucky,
galleries in the store is you just looking at the car. You can't buy it there.
Kentucky bans sales. Louisiana bans sales. Texas bans sales. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa.
I'm out of fingers, Mark.
Oklahoma, Arkansas, all ban sales.
What about the other
and then,
side?
of course, Connecticut bans sales. But get this, they allow direct leasing. So the rules are all over the place. But that's a lot of states that Tesla is being banned on at this point. And
I'm
of course,
politically for a second. So if the feds would somehow be able to block them from being able to collect all their taxes and fees and penalties and all the other BS other than your tag fee, like literally here's the license plate and a sticker. If they couldn't get any of that other money, this would be solved in under a year. But right now,
yeah.
they get to have their cake and eat it too. They can keep their
Yes.
dealer donors happy. They get to get all their freaking taxes, and then you still get the car because they can't stop it because it's federal. And if they couldn't get that cash, I bet you that would be fixed in a year. Except for
Yeah,
Texas.
that is very duplicitous. Like, okay, you can't sell the car here. Oh, but if you bring it in, we do want you to pay taxes as if you bought it here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Right. And I'm talking
That's
all of
crazy.
it. Like the like South Dakota, you pay 4% up front. None of that. South Carolina, you pay some ridiculous. Basically, turns out to be an extra car payment per year just to them in taxes, and then it shrinks eventually when normal people would have traded in another one. If they didn't get any of that, they would have every incentive to move because the locals, it's the dealerships. They're larger donors.
Yeah. They're powerful lobby groups that have put these things in places, and the only thing I can say is that Tesla is growing in size. Tesla is growing in wisdom and how they fought this in other states. And as we saw from the Louisiana court case that's currently in play, the U.S. District Court is siding with Tesla. So some of these cabals may be broken up over time. And of course, as they do break, Tesla can use the precedents that they have gained from others that they have pushed this through. So hopefully, and there's a whole, that's a long list, but hopefully we can see them niche away and cut a number of these states from that and push them over to sales states.
Now, on the Louisiana thing, yes, the court sided with them, but the siding was a little more nuanced than that, correct? So they started wherever they started and went all the way up to Louisiana Supreme Court, who said you shouldn't even be able to bring this case. Threw it out. And so then they appealed to the U.S., who said, yeah, you should have been able to do that. You were injured. And so now they get to go have a trial, not necessarily the appeals court said, all right, you can sell cars here.
Right. This is just, you can continue fighting this is basically what they got. Yeah.
Hopefully it's a jury trial or something like that, so people can see the ridiculousness of this.
Right. And the ironic thing is a lot of these states are the parts of the U.S. that claim to be pro-business and small government. And here it is where we have government prohibiting this business to sell stuff to their residents. Why? Because of some lobbyist group that is giving them campaign funds. That's not.
And not even a lot. Like when we were looking last year at some of these donations these people were making, looking at $100, $300. Like $300 is a common top. And,
wow.
There were a couple like 3,000 and 5,000, but those actually tend to be the candidate themselves.
Okay, Casey, that's only the part that was reported. Not that I'm alleging anything else. You don't get a politician to do anything for you for $300. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. So of the monetary reported amount was $300, $50, $500 on average at the most, and then when you're looking, you would see, 4,000, 5,000. And then you look at it's that actual person. It's the candidate donated 5,000 to themselves.
So I'd like to reach out to the people watching this video. Are you in a state currently that bans some sort of Tesla access to the free market? Do you have an issue with it? Do you have a solution? Do you know why your state is doing it in that particular way? Have you ever tried to contact your representatives to figure out why they're voting in this way? Be interesting to hear, especially if you're from one of these states that mentioned in the Wikipedia article that we went over. It's something that it's something that would be interesting to know how you feel about it. And can it be fought? Can it be changed? What do you think?
Yeah, that would be cool. Find a way to work around this. Like if a bunch of Tesla owners got together and bought a dealership license, and all they do is digital delivery of vehicles.
Exactly.
We approached the representation here in South Carolina a couple years back, and they were receptive. They understood the argument. They were passionate. They wanted to do something, but they were instructed they are to do nothing, and that was extremely disappointing. to not even see it brought forward to get shut down.
Who instructed them, Casey? Who did they say was instructing them?
It wasn't exactly clear. But
my corporate overlord says no.
Right, they did imply that we weren't giving them as much as certain other people were giving them, even though we pay taxes and everything. And then I didn't try the South Dakota folks to see what the deal was there. But when I picked up the car, I bought it in. It was supposed to be delivered to my office where I worked at the time, and then Hurricane Flo chased it and did a train tour around Alabama, and I went to Florida, and then we picked it up in a place called Matthews, which is known as or used to be known as the Charlotte Tesla store. But very quickly after it opened, they could no longer call it the store; they had to call it a gallery because they weren't allowed to sell cars there anymore. And I spoke to somebody off the record, as far as hey, don't name me, don't take a picture, all that, and or on background, I guess. Basically, I was like, well, what happened here? You guys had everything open; it was approved. I saw the sticker on the wall, like from the state. Yeah, they one of the major dealers, which is being remain nameless, but they're a very large North Carolina and more dealer. They complained and they got the license revoked. And the excuse that the state used was they said, oh, it's too close to the other one. Now, the first Tesla store and service center, an actual store, was in Raleigh, North Carolina. They said that Charlotte and Raleigh, a 4-hour drive, were too close together. Meanwhile, you have Bob Chevrolet and Joe Chevrolet on two opposite ends of the same town.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's a load of you know what. But oh my goodness! Again, you out there, please send us a note. Let us know what you think.
Yeah,
how can we fight this? How can we get together and do something about this in states that are like that?
Yeah. So what ended up happening there? I picked the car up in Charlotte, who just happened to be holding it. They didn't do any paperwork or anything. Raleigh did the paperwork, but I didn't go to Raleigh because it was 4 hours away. And everything got FedExed to my house on the last day that I could possibly drive it over to the DMV, and I drove it to the DMV, and we were good because it was out of state. They couldn't do extensions on the tag like they could if they were local as a registered dealer.
Well, with that, we will wrap the show.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, press that subscribe, help us out. Casey, any quick shout outs?
Yeah, catch us on Sunday over at the youtube.com/Casey Green, where we're going to be chatting with Casey and friends. And then on Monday, come back here for the other Tesla Life Express. And on Wednesday, we'll catch you on the live show.
Very good. Very good. Patrick?
I'll go backwards. I blog about my future free from fossil fuels at carswithcords.net, and I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. Thank you.
Wow, he did it backwards. That's impressive. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Get with us next time, and we'll find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
I'm ready to hear their stories about what's going on, why they can't sell in their state, how they approached it.